finally doing this video. This is the video where I talk about some of the challenges and rewards of traveling internationally with your toddler, or doing anything with your toddler that requires you to put in a little bit more effort than you normally would if you were doing it by yourself. I wanted to do this video because I recently took a trip to Europe with my daughter. At the time she was almost 2, and my sister. If you guys have not seen my vlog about that trip, make sure that you check it out. I'll link it down below, and I'll also link it up here somewhere because it is gonna provide some context for this video. And if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you were looking at my stories and my Instagram feed, and I was posting pictures and video clips of the whole experience. So you kind of saw a little bit of the behind the scenes of what took place. And I wanted to create this video to share a little bit of insider tips on kind of what to expect from doing something like that, you know, taking your kid out of the country for a number of days. Also share a little bit about my experience, and you know, just to kind of start the conversation around, you know, doing fun stuff with your kids. I just feel like a lot of the stigma around becoming a parent is that you'll no longer be able to do the things you used to do, you know, your life changes, and it's not always with a positive spin. And so I felt the need to create some content like this and show a different side of that experience, that it can be really positive, it can have its rewards, it definitely has its challenges, but we can't talk about the challenges without talking about the rewards. So that's the whole point of this video. This is not a how-to in any way. I'm not trying to be preachy or anything like that, because everyone's lifestyle is different. Everyone is going to have a different experience, but I just kind of want to share mine. I did ask you guys on Instagram if you wanted to see a video like this, and I said I would do it if I got 100 comments, and you guys put like almost 300 comments, and I was like, all right, I get the point, I get the picture, you guys want to see it, all right, I'll do it. So I finally got around to being able to do this, so here we are. Before I get into the video content, you guys, I wanted to show you this necklace that I'm wearing because I know somebody's gonna ask. This is just an Africa pendant necklace. You guys, I had these on my shop a couple of months ago, and you guys bought them all. And at that time I only had gold and silver, but now I actually restocked, and I have this gunmetal color, which is just basically a shiny black, and I also have it in rose gold. So make sure that you click the link below if you guys are interested in having a necklace like this. They are still highly discounted and super, super cute, and I just absolutely love this gunmetal color, you guys. It is the direct replica of the continent of Africa, and I actually designed it myself, so I'm really proud of it. So if you guys want to check it out on my site, just click the link below. All right, so getting to this video content, what did I want to say? Okay, so it's a lot of content that I want to share, so I don't want this video to be all over the place. Hopefully it won't be. I know it's gonna probably be a long video, but can't really do too much about that. It's a lot of information to share, but I kind of wanted to organize it into different little buckets, different little chapters. So I'm gonna be talking about preparing for your trip, I'm gonna be talking about being smart about your trip, and I'm gonna talk about being agile during the trip. So let's get started. So let's start off talking about passports. So the thing that I didn't know about getting a passport for a child is that both parents have to be present. Yes, so if you and your husband or baby daddy or whatever have really different schedules, similar to like me and my husband, you got to work on that, because both of you guys got to be present for the thing. You can't just have him sign something and you go off and do it. Nope. They want to see both parents standing there present, saying, I agree that my child can leave the country. If your baby daddy or husband or whatever is estranged and not in your life, and you don't know where they are, you can't reach them, you have to sign like this whole affidavit thing to, you know, legally say that I'm not lying, this person is nowhere to be found, so I'm doing this without them. It's like a whole thing. It is a serious matter. So honey, give yourself time if you know that you're expecting to take an international trip. We only gave ourselves like 2.5 months to get the passport, but we got lucky and the thing came back in like 5 weeks, so we were good. So what I would recommend, you guys, is when you have your kid, right, and you're getting their birth certificate and their social security card, you're getting their name all official and all that, just get the passport then. Just add it to your checklist with everything else, because when you have it, you just don't even have to worry about it. So that would be my tip. Next thing is flights. So with a baby, right, anyone under the age of 2, they get to basically fly for free, because they would just be considered a lap child, and you would just hold that child for the duration of the flight, and that would be that. Well, me knowing that and doing a little bit of research on the flights that we took, I knew that I did not want to do that. So in my planning process, I budgeted in and having her own flight, her own ticket, her own seat, because when the child is sharing the seat with you, they're also sharing your meals, your drinks, your space, everything. And I just knew, knowing who I am and knowing who Anne is and what our flight experience would be, I knew I did not want to hold her and be responsible for rocking her to sleep and all that. So I went ahead and just planned budget-wise to get her own seat. That way she had her own special meal and I didn't have to worry about it. I just strapped her into her seatbelt, gave her a little pillow, a little blanket, and she was on her own. Now, did I sleep the whole time due to that? You know, having to watch her and make sure nobody was like effing with her or making sure that she wasn't climbing out of the seatbelt and running around the plane. Girl, I didn't get no sleep, okay? That's the answer to that one. But it was totally worth it to be able to just know that she was super comfortable, she was safe in her seatbelt, and I didn't have to worry about her. And also, you guys, whenever you order meals for a baby or a kid or a child for a flight, and for me, I was ordering vegan meals. You guys, those are considered specialty meals or special meals. They're considered like short orders. You get those before everyone else. So I feel like we got our meals probably like a whole half hour to 45 minutes before everyone else. So when they were bringing out everyone else's food, we had already eaten, I was drinking my wine, and we were about to take our nap, okay? So that's another hack. If you have a special diet, ask for that special diet on your flight. The benefits of that is just, you know, it feels a little VIP. But aside from that silliness, you know, you can get your kid out of the way fed, all the mess that they're gonna make and all of that finicky stuff. You can get all of that out of the way before all the hustle and bustle of everyone else eating takes place. So if you need you have a special request for one of the flight attendants or something, you're more likely to get your request met because they're not busy with everyone else. They're just giving you your stuff. So that is definitely a hack. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, the equipment that you need for the baby. So, you know, stroller, car seat, all that kind of stuff. So I knew going to Europe, we were gonna spend some days in London, we were gonna spend some days in Paris. The laws there are the same here. You have to have a car seat. And so we did bring the car seat because we needed to have it from, you know, for transportation to and from the airport, but I didn't want to have a car seat for 9 days, lugging it everywhere we go. So Uber was out of the question. We got lucky and we were in a city where they have like a world-class transportation system. I'm talking about London, the underground, with trains and buses and things like that. You don't need a car seat, right? The baby is safe in their stroller or in your arms. So that was perfect for us, you guys, being able to hop on and off of those trains. Such a big help because toddler car seats, you guys, are about 30 pounds on the average side. There are some lightweight ones and things, but the one that we got, because of the safety ratings and all that, it had to be freaking heavy as ever. So that caused a problem, but that's the way that we chose to address it. Was it easy lugging that thing to and from the airport and in and out of different cars? Girl, hell to the no. It was a hot mess. I was sweating. My back was hurting. I was like, oh my God, I regret this. Challenge, reward. I got to take my baby to Europe with me and experience all these different things with her auntie, and it was absolutely amazing. I have to keep reminding you guys of the reward. Yes, it's a challenge, but the reward was greater. Let's talk about the stroller. I only travel with this one particular stroller, you guys, and I have to recommend it to you guys. It is by Mountain Buggy. The stroller itself is probably like, I don't know, 15 pounds at the most. It is very portable and compact, you guys. It folds down to that of the size of a briefcase. It also comes with its own strap, so you can just kind of sort of carry it once you fold it down. It is so freaking awesome. I love that stroller. It's the only one I travel with. It has all of the amenities of a big fancy stroller in terms of having a little bit of storage at the bottom. It has like a convertible canopy on the top. It has its own brake system. So it has all of the things you would expect from a standard stroller, but none of the things you don't need, like big old bulky moving parts, and you got to detach this, you got to fold this, you got to da-da-da. You know, it doesn't have any of that. So I loved being able to move freely through all of the adventures we were experiencing with a stroller that was not going to cause me grief. I would also say it's really important to familiarize yourself with the rituals and traditions and culture of the place where you're going, especially as it relates to babies and all of the equipment and things that come with them. Because what I will say is that when we got to England, I did not expect what I got when it came to the whole stroller thing. There they call strollers proms, and I just feel like the way that they treat the stroller is twofold. The first vibe that I got was that they treat the stroller almost like they treat the wheelchair of a handicapped person, and I have a lot of experience with that because my sister was in a wheelchair for more than a year's time, so I really got to experience what it's like to have to be accommodated and things like that when you're in a wheelchair. And that's how they treat proms over there, I feel. You know, we were able to get right in front of the line when we went to the Louvre. Like, people treat you differently. Like, strangers will come and help you with your stroller. Even going through the subway system, like, people kept helping us on the stairs. And it was me and my sister. I'm like, we're totally capable of doing this ourselves. It's two of us. But it never failed, you guys. Every train stop, every time we got on and off of a bus, someone came out of the clouds like, can I help you carry this? So that was really, really good. So in that sense, it felt like, you know, we were being treated kind of like a wheelchair. But there was the other part of that, you guys, where I felt like strollers were just not welcome. I can say pretty much every restaurant we went in when we were in London, strollers were not allowed. You could bring your dog in the restaurant, but you couldn't bring in your stroller. You had to leave it at the door or leave it outside on the sidewalk, you guys. I ain't really tripped because I didn't really want no smoke, you know what I'm saying? I'm a long way from home, and you know, this is a whole different culture, so I'm just trying to like be respectful of it. But I am telling you, I was texting people back home, I was posting on my personal Facebook status, and I was just like, yo, England got it effed up out here when it comes to strollers, because I've just never experienced that before. But we made it work, you know what I'm saying? We just would fold the stroller down into its compact position and just like slide it under the table, or I would just like wear it on my shoulder so they didn't even notice that it was a stroller. Like, I did what I had to do to make it work, but it was a hot mess. That part was a hot mess. All right, let's move on to the second chapter of this video, and that's be smart. I just want to really reiterate the fact that, you know best yourself and your child. Utilize that intuition when you're planning a trip like this. 9 days away from home is a really long time. You definitely want to try to bring the comforts of home as much as you can without overpacking and creating a mess for yourself, creating more stress for yourself. So with that, I'm gonna share with you guys a few examples of some of the things that I did just to make it easier on myself. The first thing was packing Anne's stuff. I knew I wanted to pack light for her, so I brought exactly what she would need. So that took a lot of thinking, you know, how many pairs of pajamas, how many change of clothes, how many outfits, you know, on the different days that we're doing different things. Do I really need a whole outfit, or can she just lay around all day in loungewear? Stuff like that. So the planning piece is gonna be super important to relieving some of the stress later. But when it came to like her diapers, for example, I did not want to bring 9 days worth of diapers. Diapers can be really unpredictable. Anne could get the runs one day. She could, you know, drink a lot more fluid one day and pee a whole lot more, and da 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 da. So I didn't want to have to be trying to figure out 9 days worth of diapers and what that number would look like. So I brought about 4 days worth of diapers, and I had already researched in advance like what stores I could go to find the brand that we like, which is Pampers Pure. I have to have my Pampers Pure. And I realized that Tesco has lots of Pampers Pure, and so that's what I did. Packing half of the amount of diapers that I would have needed to travel with over there saved me so much space in our luggage, and it was just better for me. So I ended up just buying diapers when we were there. And what was cool is that as the trip progressed and went on and we got closer to actually leaving, coming back to the States, we were back low on diapers, but I feel like I had just enough to get us back home and into the airport and all of the stuff that would come with that. I feel like I had just enough. So I actually had more room in my bag coming back for like, you know, things that we had bought when we were shopping, souvenirs and stuff like that. So it worked out, you guys. I was like really proud of myself, like, yes. And I knew I wanted to pack light for myself too. So I knew, like, listen, I have to be able to have both hands free to take care of Anne and chase her around or whatever I need to do. So I had a rule for myself. I'm only allowed to have one bag, and Anne is only allowed to have one bag. So I had this beautiful set of 2 pieces of luggage from Away. There was a smaller luggage and then a more medium size, larger size. So that was the one that I brought for myself. Brought all of my jackets that I was gonna need, only a couple pair of shoes because I feel like I could just repeat shoes. I could repeat jackets too. And I didn't wanna overpack, I didn't want it to be too heavy because I still have to handle all this by myself. My sister was there and available and willing, but end of the day, like, this is my child. I need to be able to handle her in the event that Alex, you know, can't do it. You know what I mean? So you have to plan in that, with that thinking. So I had my 2 bags where I could actually stack the little bag on top of the big one, and it was so much easier, you guys. So just being smart about what to expect from the trip is what you need to be thinking. Like, don't get over there and end up crying and hollering bloody murder because you made a bad choice before you left your homeland. Don't do that. The other part about being smart, I feel like, is really setting those expectations when you travel with someone, with your child. So like the fact that I was traveling with my sister, I felt like it was really important for me to make sure she understood what would be required of a trip with a toddler. I like literally told her, like, Moo, this is not gonna be the kind of trip where we are going to be experiencing nightlife, or we're gonna be like, you know, out all day for extended periods of time. We have to consider, you know, that this kid might need a nap. You know, and we have to consider she might get hungry at a certain time. She doesn't care if we just want to take one more hour to look at one more thing. A toddler is not going to care about that. They don't have the discipline to wait. They're hungry then. So these were just some of the things that I was telling her to just expect, you know. Anne is going to want us to work on her schedule. We have to adapt to her needs and her wants. It's not going to be the other way around. So I feel like when you do travel with a baby with someone else, they need to know that, you know. If I was traveling with Anthony, I wouldn't have had to explain that. But with Alex, you know, she's 28 years old, you know. She doesn't have any kids, you know, so she's not gonna understand what the sacrifices are gonna look like. So I had to kind of lay that out for her. And luckily, she was the type of person really super understanding, and it was really important for her to have Anne there. So she got it and she didn't have a problem with it. But imagine how that trip could have gone left had I been traveling with someone who didn't want any parts of a toddler and their needs, and they didn't even know what to expect. Imagine what that would have been like. So that's why I put that under the category of be smart. Like, make things easier on yourself. And then the final chapter of this sort of soapbox lecture, sorry if it's turned into that, I didn't want it to be that, but the last chapter is be agile. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about agility and kind of how that played into my trip. So basically, you guys, be willing to switch it up at a moment's notice, you know. Just be willing to change your plans if something were to come up with the baby. So like, for example, you know, your plan is to go get on the London Eye. You know, that thing takes a long time to come all the way back around. But right before you get on the London Eye, the babe poops. And they're like uncomfortable, clearly physically uncomfortable. Are you gonna get on the London Eye with that poopy diaper? Or are you gonna go find a bathroom with a changing station and get that baby changed before you get on that thing? This is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Yes, it's going to be inconvenient. Yes, it's gonna be a little disappointing to have to get out of line and go do that. But guess what? You gotta do it, because what you don't want is to go up in the London Eye in that little enclosed space with a baby with a poopy diaper, and everyone in there is now looking at you like, are you gonna change the baby or what? So these are the types of things I'm talking about, just being able to change your plan, you know? If the baby starts, you know, getting sleepy and needs to take a nap right before you have plans to do something cool, well, guess what? You have to rearrange those plans, and that baby has to take that nap. These are things that you have to just think about and be ready to tackle and conquer when you're trying to do something such as take a baby on an international trip. During the trip, we decided to go to Paris for a few days. So we took a train from London to Paris, which was awesome. Anne really loved the train ride, even though she was a little uncomfortable at certain points because she was getting bored and restless. So I had to deal with that. I brought her iPad just to give her something to be entertained by, and I had all of her favorite shows already downloaded, so we were able to watch the iPad, which helped me to keep her calm so that she wouldn't disturb everyone else in the train. The part that took me out was the logistics of it all. So getting on the train with all of the luggage and the car seat and basically everything we came to London with, that part was difficult. I mean, I was just literally sweating. It was a hot mess. But again, you gotta have the mindset. You gotta know that you're gonna be lugging stuff and it's gonna be tough. But that was necessary for me to execute a trip to Paris. Like, it was gonna be hard. And so we signed up for that, and we just kind of, you know, bared through it. So why do any of this, right? Why go through all the trouble of having to consider all these things, going through all of these changes just to take a baby with you on an international trip? Let me tell you guys a little story. When I was growing up, we never went nowhere, all right? And I don't say that to try to make my parents look bad, you know, it was 4 of us, and it was a huge hassle in my parents' eyes to, you know, pack kids up, put them on a plane, or even put them in a car. It was a lot. It took a ton of effort. When I knew that I wanted to become a mom, that was the first thing that I knew was never gonna stop me from doing anything with Anne, and that was the fear of effort, the fear of challenge. I knew that was never going to be an obstacle for me, because what happens is you grow up, your kids grow up, and you look back on the experiences that you had and you have all this regret. You wish that you would have been able to do this or that and had pictures and videos from it to show and share and just talk about experiences. You know, it's not about the kid remembering the experience, it's about you remembering the experience. You got to have this moment with your child. You got to experience this thing, whatever it is, with your kid there. So those memories are all intertangled, you know? To me, that's what's important. There'll be plenty of opportunity to do things with Anne that she will remember when she's older, but I also want to have my own memories and have my own photos to show her, like, look, hon, when you were 2, Alex and I took you to Europe, and this is what we did, and we had you with us, and we, you know, took pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower. I feel like I'm about to start getting emotional just thinking about what the future will be. Whew. It's really crazy, but that just goes to show you guys how passionate I am about things like this. Me sharing this video was just really from my heart. I just really want to get the message out there that it is really important to do these things. And there's more to the story than just how rough it was and, oh, that must have been really difficult to take. I mean, you would not even believe the amount of people who were like, oh, girl, you took Anne to Europe for how many days? I know that was hard. Girl, couldn't be me. And I'm just like, great, you know? So there was a challenge and you gave into it. You should be proud. I see it as something that is hugely rewarding now and later into the future. You know, when Anne gets older and I'm able to tell her these stories, I feel like that's where the value is gonna really come in at. And that's why I do the things I do with my daughter. We don't miss a beat. And I also don't want her existence to ever be connected with, oh, can't do that because Anne's here, can't experience that because I have Anne. I don't think I've said that since she's been here, not once, you know? So that would just be my message to you guys in all of this, right? Is to take some of the stock out of hard work and something appearing challenging and being an obstacle, turn that around and highlight the rewards of the experience. Things you can't put a dollar value to. You're writing history when you do things with your children, and I just think that is the most important part. That's the part that should be emphasized. So you guys, that's all I have for this video. I'm trying to think, did I forget anything? I had little notes right here I've been looking at the whole time, but I just hope I didn't forget anything. But I just thank you guys for watching and supporting my channel. And please comment below, you guys, all of your thoughts and views about a video like this. Please comment below. Please share this video with your friends. And please like the video if this was content that was helpful to you or inspiring to you or encouraging to you. And I love you guys, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye.
Yo, one glass of Patron to smash in its own, and I dash right back to the pad where I zone. Got a stash collection, double packs that I own. When I break them out, sneakerheads get blown.